Next week in Coronation Street, Summer faces a terrifying crisis as her struggle behind bars pushes her to a dangerous breaking point, leaving her fighting for survival in hospital. Unable to endure life in prison any longer, the accused killer makes a reckless decision in a desperate attempt to escape her situation. With Tyrone appearing to hold the key to proving her innocence, the question remains whether he will finally reveal the truth, despite the risk of exposing his own wrongdoing. Summer's emotional state continues to deteriorate, while Tyrone wrestles with the guilt of knowing that his dishonesty helped place her in this position. If he chooses to tell the police what really happened, he could finally end her ordeal, provided it isn't too late. After Tyrone failed to back up Summer's account of the events surrounding Theo Silverton's death, she was formally charged with murder. However, Tyrone's testimony was far from honest, as he concealed crucial information to protect himself. As her court case draws nearer, Summer considers admitting to manslaughter in hopes of receiving a lighter sentence, even though she maintains that she is innocent. Todd becomes increasingly worried about her well-being, and a troubling call from prison only heightens his fears. His concerns are confirmed when he learns that Summer has been taken to hospital. Rushing to see her, he is shocked when she reveals that she intentionally disabled her insulin pump to make herself seriously ill, hoping it would get her out of prison. Word of Summer's desperate actions quickly spreads, leading investigators to question whether they may have arrested the wrong person. Meanwhile, a major breakthrough occurs when Todd's missing phone, which vanished on the night of the murder, is recovered. The discovery provides detectives with a fresh lead, and new evidence begins pointing toward Gary Windass, casting serious doubt on Summer's involvement. While recovering in hospital, Summer remains unaware that the investigation is shifting. Surrounded by support from Todd, Asha, and Nina, she still fears that her freedom is temporary and that she could soon be sent back to prison for good. Elsewhere, Carl confronts an increasingly nervous Tyrone and reveals that he has recalled important details from the night he was injured, the same evening Theo died. Overwhelmed by guilt, Tyrone finally confesses everything to Fizz and explains why he allowed suspicion to fall on Summer. He admits that he witnessed Carl interfering with Kevin's car brakes and began recording the incident on his phone. During the confrontation, Tyrone accidentally knocked away the jack supporting the vehicle, causing the car to collapse and trap Carl underneath. Panicking after the accident, Tyrone fled without helping. Fearing he would be blamed, he later denied seeing Summer that night because admitting the truth would place him at the scene. Horrified by his confession, Fizz insists that he immediately tell the police what really happened. The big question now is whether the footage on his phone will be enough to clear Summer's name, and what consequences Tyrone will face for his lies and for abandoning Carl after the accident. Coronation Street confirms Sam's breaking point as Carla steps in. Coronation Street viewers will see Sam Blakeman face a serious mental health crisis next week as his condition worsens and he begins experiencing psychosis, causing him to see two different versions of Roy Cropper. The situation becomes deeply upsetting for Sam, who can no longer tell the difference between the real Roy and a frightening hallucination that encourages him to act violently. After trapping both versions of Roy inside the cafe, Sam's mental state rapidly deteriorates. While the real Roy attempts to soothe and reassure him, Nick desperately pleads with his son to open the door, fearing the increasingly tense situation could end in disaster. According to Ben Price, who plays Nick, Sam has never previously shown signs of being dangerous. However, this incident reveals a side of his son that Nick has never witnessed before. When Sam refuses to let anyone inside and becomes hostile toward Roy, the situation suddenly feels far more threatening. For several weeks, Nick has noticed that something isn't right with Sam. Tensions between Sam and Will Driscoll have only added to his concerns. Both Nick and Leanne have been worried about the teenager's behavior, but have convinced themselves that it is simply a phase of adolescence rather than something more serious. What they fail to realize is just how severe Sam's condition has become. He has been seeing an imagined version of Roy, who repeatedly urges him to use violence against Will. The hallucination insists that Will must be removed from his life, despite Sam repeatedly protesting that he is not a violent person. However, the constant pressure from the imagined figure leaves Sam frightened and increasingly vulnerable. As the standoff inside the cafe intensifies, Nick is joined by Toya and Leanne. Together, they try to persuade Sam to unlock the door and accept their help. Unfortunately, their efforts make little difference, leaving them helpless as his condition continues to worsen. The situation becomes even more alarming when Sam later disappears, triggering an urgent search by his loved ones. Fortunately, Carla finds him and immediately recognizes that he is displaying clear signs of severe psychosis. Her experience allows her to understand the seriousness of what she is witnessing. Ben Price explained that Carla's strength lies in her directness. Because she has endured significant challenges herself, people trust her judgment. When Carla speaks up and confirms that something is seriously wrong, Nick knows he needs to listen. Her reaction serves as a wake-up call, making it impossible for those around Sam to ignore the reality of what is happening. As Sam's family finally begin to understand the extent of his struggle, they are faced with a difficult journey ahead. The challenge now is whether they can come together and provide the support and treatment he desperately needs to recover. Coronation Street actor Jack P. Shepard has teased difficult times ahead for David Platt and his wife Shona, despite the couple recently celebrating the arrival of their first child together. Earlier this year, viewers watched as David and Shona faced an emotional period leading up to her complicated medical procedure, which ultimately resulted in the birth of their daughter. During the pregnancy, a routine scan revealed a concerning growth on the baby's neck, and specialists later confirmed that it was a tumor. Doctors warned Shona that if she wished to continue the pregnancy to full term, her unborn daughter would require a highly complex and risky operation. Determined to give her child every chance, Shona chose to carry on with the pregnancy despite the challenges ahead. However, the couple's hopes for a smooth journey were shattered when they became involved in a devastating crash that affected residents of both Weatherfield and Emmerdale. The dramatic accident, featured in the special crossover episode Corriedale, involved a major multi-vehicle collision. As a result, Shona was forced to give birth earlier than planned. The incident also led to a reunion with her long-lost sister, Jodie Ramsey, whose actions have since caused significant tension in Shona's marriage. Now, Jack has hinted that more hardship is on the horizon for David and Shona. Speaking to Digital Spy, he explained that after finally bringing their baby home from hospital, a new and much darker storyline will begin to unfold. He reassured fans that the baby will not be at the center of the upcoming drama, but revealed that the Platt family will soon face another serious challenge. According to him, the family has overcome many obstacles in the past, and another difficult chapter is about to begin. The warning comes after Jodie intensified her attempts to drive a wedge between David and Shona. At one stage, she even manipulated David into ending up in bed with her. When her efforts failed to destroy the relationship, she resorted to more extreme behavior before eventually being thrown out by David and Sarah, a decision that later led to dramatic consequences. Producer Kate Brooks previously explained that Jodie's actions stem from a deep belief that she has been denied the life she should have had. She feels drawn to David and envies the stable family life she sees around her, believing it could have been her future. Despite Jodie's obsession, Kate stressed that David and Shona remain deeply committed to one another. Their relationship has survived numerous hardships over the years, and their bond remains strong. Looking ahead, Kate revealed that their daughter Harper is still receiving treatment in hospital, but once she returns home, the realities and pressures of family life will begin to take their toll. She suggested that Jodie may try to take advantage of any cracks that appear in the relationship. Whether her goal is to lure David away or punish Shona for abandoning her, she remains determined to come between them. Even so, David and Shona's greatest strength is their unity. The real challenge will be whether they can recognize Jody's true intentions before she succeeds in causing lasting damage to their family. Coronation Street is broadcast on ITV1 every weekday at 8:30 p.m. and is also available to watch on ITVX.